Hello and welcome to another top 50 mods for Kingdom Come Deliverance II. Mods are definitely getting more advanced, and we have a large array of excellent quality of life to new armors, weapons, textures, and gameplay changes. And as time goes on, particularly once we get the mod kits, things are going to get really spicy. So let's take a look at the next top 50 mods for Kingdom Come Deliverance II. Let's go. We have probably one of the funniest mods I've seen so far for Kingdom Come Deliverance II. The mod transforms all chickens in the game into small dinosaurs. This is the Comsog Nephis. I don't know if you remember from Jurassic Park 2 when that girl gets attacked by those little dinosaurs. Well, these are the dudes. So this mod transforms all the chickens into those, and it comes in two versions. The giant version, which I don't really recommend. It looks extremely odd with the neck moving around, but the little ones, it's pretty sweet little addition. It's just something so unusual and funny to add into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So the head animations for eating are pretty sweet, and as it scratches around, it's even better. It almost fits perfectly into the game, obviously completely immersion breaking, but it's a good laugh. It would be next level if you could get them to attack and run around in packs. If we do get a good mod kit, imagine what is going to be possible. So the Dinosaur Poultry mod is a hilarious and creative retexture, purely aesthetic, but an awesome fun mod to try. The Dragonborn Cuirass is a retexture of the Milanese cuirass with intricate engravings that give it a luxurious and powerful aesthetic. This is the first sort of armor set that I've seen. There is a plan to actually make the complete armor set, so we're still waiting on that. But this is awesome to see. It's a high quality engraved retexture, adds tons of detail and decoration, creating a much more ornate look. Aims to deliver a luxury armor feel, appealing to players who enjoy a more regal, knightly appearance. It includes a light and dark version for different color preference, and as mentioned, the future plans that over time there will be a fully standalone version of a complete armor set, matching helmet, arms, and other components. So that's going to be pretty wicked to see this develop. Do note you can come across NPCs wearing this, I believe, but this is one sweet looking cuirass. Beautiful retexture that adds very nice regal, ornate flair to the game's armor. While it currently replaces the Milanese cuirass, the standalone version is highly anticipated, but an excellent mod to keep your eye on. Here we have a different approach to adding more hoods into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and this is called Raised Hood. It's a cosmetic enhancement that modifies how hoods are worn within the game. By default, many hoods lay flat on the shoulders for NPCs and Henry, which can feel a little bit immersion breaking given the setting. This mod forces specific hoods to be worn up, making Henry and other NPCs look more fitting or medieval. However, this isn't a simple toggle on or off, it's a hard replacement for selected hoods. Hoods will finally appear in a practical way rather than sitting awkwardly around the shoulders. This makes cloaked characters feel more natural. The previous hood mod we looked at didn't add it to NPCs, but this one will. It's going to apply it to NPCs. So it's worth noting that for this mod currently, if you have a hood, it's going to overwrite a coif. So if I add it now, you can see it overwrites. And in this case, a lot of the time that will look fine. However, if we add a helmet, the hood is still going to be laid on top. So here is Henry with a helmet on. You can see that the hood overwrites both in this instance, but do note that the stats do actually apply. It is simply a visual change. You will always have the hood on regardless of what you're wearing. This may change in the future, but it's definitely worth noting that is one of the downsides for this mod as it stands. I believe this will apply to NPCs as well. So some good and bad with this, but worthwhile covering as over time this will be improved. This is another mod trying to add hoods and make them more relevant within the game. Not a bad crack. Let's get moving. Introducing probably the best zoom mod we have so far. It's called Zoomie, and it adds an advanced zooming system with a wide field of view, FOV, range from 1 to 175 for better vision control. The Zoomie mod introduces an adjustable zoom function, much better and way more zoom than any of the other zoom mods we have covered. This is going to allow you to stretch right up to your crossbow, giving you this crazy perspective I've never seen before. You can zoom in so much. You'll be able to hit some crazy long shots with this, and you can zoom in and out dynamically using your mouse wheel. You scroll up to zoom in and scroll down to zoom out from memory, and if you need to reset the zoom, you just click the mouse wheel button. That will reset it to the default field of view. Do note it can get a little bit funny if you zoom in and out too much, but it does kind of kick itself back and reset if you do something too funky. But this is an incredible mod. I just installed it using Nexus, very straightforward. So the good things about this, it has a huge range of customizable view. If you use this for archery and stealth, very easy to use. There's a simple key binding system, doesn't interfere with any other gameplay mechanics. There's no FPS drops as it doesn't alter textures, models, or scripts. It's a lightweight. It also allows for cinematic zoom in for better screenshots. And overall, this is a fantastic quality of life mod for exploration, archery, and immersion. The only downside is maybe the transitions could be a little bit better, but I mean, we're only mucking around with the field of view, so this is pretty brilliant. However, if you're a stealth player or an archer, or just want better control over getting some sweet screenshots, this is pretty much the best tool we have so far. They've made the map marker way too big in my opinion, and this mod fixes it perfectly. Play as a map marker resize and replacement mod, giving players multiple options for resizing or replacing that crazy big map marker. It addresses one of the common issues. The default player marker can be way too large or unclear depending on the user's preference. There's been many instances where it displays over top of important icons on the map. So you have tons of different options, about 17 different options right now. I'm sure there'll be more added possibly, but we have rescaled vanilla soldier icon. This one goes from a much smaller version, coming in a range of 60, 75, and 85% size changes. And in the example I have, I believe it's like 60%. So it's really small, but still very noticeable. The ones I really enjoy are the custom hollow circle and the custom hollow circle with the arrow, which gives a really good indication of which way you're facing. Those all come in the different scale options as well. But this will help with more visibility, customization. There's multiple size options. It's lightweight, no performance impact. This is pretty much going to be a staple going forward for me. A solid UI improvement that enhances the player's map visibility, but overall, superb mod. Let's keep moving. Skyrim-like Sneak Attack Ambusher Perk mod. This mod enhances the Ambusher perk, making sneak attacks within Kingdom Come Deliverance closer to the stealth mechanics within Skyrim. Does this by increasing the damage multiplier. Stealth-based builds become much more deadlier in ambush situations. And in the background, we have a before and after where we're sneaking in some bushes. We use a crossbow. First time it doesn't take down the enemy, and then when we use the ambusher perk and flick that on, it's going to basically one shot, giving you that potent first kill. And if you can remain stealth and hidden, then even more potent, but likely a good one shot before getting charged. The mod works by enhancing the ambusher perk, so it won't actually work until you get that. And the mod comes in 3 different versions, a 2 times, 3 times, and a 10 times. I thought this was a cool, interesting mod, great for sneak attacks, stealth focused players. Obviously, it makes it easier, but it's cool to really pack a punch with your first shot, as long as you're in stealth, of course, and not being detected. Cool little mod. Let's keep moving. We have 2 quick quality of life mods that I just want to cover because this could be very useful to some people. I've definitely found myself sometimes not too keen on some of these aspects. First one is the horse whistle Begone. This is going to mute your whistle towards your horse. So whenever you whistle, it will now be muted, but all the in-game mechanics and functionality remain the same. Everyone will still react as if you've done the whistle and it's audible. I can't give you an example of the actual noise not triggering, but here is just sort of some gameplay where I'm whistling, you can't hear anything, and people are all reacting. The horse is still following you around. This could be an excellent addition, especially if you do find that noise annoying over time. And another option that follows suit but applies to Mutt, the mod's called Mutt Be Quiet. It's going to remove the annoying howling from Mutt, making him quieter. I expect this will be extended potentially to when you're crouched and Mutt's growling or making noises, but for the time being, this could be a perfect option to reduce Mutt's howling and interruptions. But certainly watch this space as quite a lot of people are commenting on this and are interested in more audio changes around Mutt's behavior. Worth noting, 2 minor changes to some sound. Worth noting, I think. The Better Map Zoom mod, very simple, allows us to zoom in on our maps 3 times more than before and zoom out to their max width. This is a really nice quality of life change, as you will find many times where you're trying to zoom in to get a very precise picture of where you are to orientate yourself. But unless you're in a major town that has a more detailed map, you're unable to zoom in so much. So this is just going to fix that. Now, wherever you are, you'll be able to zoom in super close to your character's icon, map marker. It's a small change, but something like this is really cool to have. Easy to see arrow and bolts,
colored feather mod. It's a really nice mod that's very popular in KCD 1, and this is very similar if not the same. It enhances the arrow and bolt visibility by changing their feather colors, making them much more easy to locate after firing. Ideal for archery focused players, it's a simple and effective tweak, reducing frustration when losing arrows, particularly in grass forests. It has a brightly colored arrow feather for easy visibility, and all the different arrows have different colors. Works for crossbow and the bow. And there's 3 different versions. We have the standard version, brightly colored for high visibility. That's what I have on now. Then you have the less saturated version, slightly toned down for a more natural look, and then even less saturated version, a subtle enhancement while keeping more of an immersive but still noticeable difference in the arrow feathers color. A simple but highly effective mod, ensuring that fired arrows and bolts are easily located.
Master Menhart's Longsword Replica introduces a recipe to craft the replica of Master Menhart's Longsword, allowing players to obtain a powerful weapon without having to loot or steal it from the original wielder. The crafting recipe includes high-tier materials, making it a late-game weapon option. To obtain the recipe, you will need to make it to the next map, and I'll just give you an example of where to get it, how to find it. The recipe is sold by Master Peter, a blacksmith in Gutenberg. Very nice shop. But this is where you'll find it on the map, and the materials you'll need are exotic wood, deer skin, straight sword guard, pear sword pommel, Toledo steel, and iron. All these items can be purchased in quite a good amount of quantity in Gutenberg. Recipe costs roughly around 11 to 1200, and with this you'll be able to have a crack at forging this amazing sword on your own. However, do note you probably will need to be quite advanced in your forging or quite proficient, as it can be a difficult sword. There is a real quick option to gain this sword. If you have console commands enabled and on PC, you can just drop in the commands noted within the mod that will spawn the recipe and the sword itself, skipping the process of going to grab it. It's an excellent mod because it balances the crafting requirements. The material cost is fair and ensures only dedicated players can craft it. The Toledo steel and exotic wood are rare, preventing players from crafting it too early. It's lore friendly, there's no game-breaking mechanics, it's a good craftable alternative to some rare gear, and the cheat codes are included. The sword looks incredible and has incredible stats. This is a well-balanced crafting mod, adding in an iconic legendary sword. Definitely recommend if players enjoy crafting or just want a mad legendary sword that looks amazing. The CTR Skins KCD 2 mod is a high-resolution character texture overhaul, improving the detail and realisms of faces and bodies within Kingdom Come Deliverance II. It offers both 2K, 4K textures for a more lifelike and immersive experience. In my example, I'm using all 4K textures. You'll have 3 options within the different 4K and 2K. You'll have male body textures, female body textures, which will refine skin details, muscle definition, and shading. There's also an optional default Henry look. If you prefer the original Henry, this version keeps the vanilla appearance while upscaling the resolution. This is a massive visual upgrade. Characters look way more detailed, refined, and natural. 4K textures demand more VRAM, can affect performance on low-end GPUs. However, there are customizable options. You could just pick one texture pack just to help your performance if you're in that scenario. But if you ever wanted more crisp, more detailed character textures, CTR Skin is an essential mod. It enhances the immersion without changing the artistic style, making this a must-have mod to add that extra detail clarity to everyone you interact with. Dirty and Charismatic PTF mod removes the penalty dirt and armor conditions have on Henry's charisma, ensuring your character's charm isn't ever affected by how filthy, bloody, or battle-worn he gets. So as an example, here we have some noble gear with a charisma value of 22. It's all pretty clean, other than my face. Let's get dirty and bloodied up through some combat and exploration, having a charisma of 22 still, proving that dirt blood no longer impact charisma. So even after having a bath, if we go and check our charisma, we'll still have a charisma of 22. It's a very subtle and small change, but this is a great quality of life mod. If you find that the dirt-based charisma penalty is frustration, ideal for players who want constant social interaction without worrying about constant baths or pristine armor upkeep. The Deep Water Horse mod is a re-implementation of the original Deep Water Horse mod. It allows horses to traverse deep water, effectively bypassing the game's no swimming rule for mounted travel. This can expand exploration options, making crossing rivers and lake possible at any time.
So it's going to remove the water barriers for mounted players, ride your horse across deep water, but do not jump off your horse while you're in the water. If you do, it will leave Henry stuck under the water. This is not a PTF compatible mod yet, but maybe down the track it will be. It doesn't change any of the terrain or level geometry, and there's no swimming animation or water physics. The horse can simply just walk in water now, and you will go straight to the bottom. So it's still early days, but I see this mod becoming a staple down the track, very similar to the KCD 1 version. A useful mod for easier, increased exploration, but used with caution due to lack of water physics and potential game-breaking issues. However, if you do want to ride across rivers and lakes, this is a great tool, but stay mounted and potentially avoid some of the real deep areas where you might clip under the map. Awesome seeing this in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Disable Fog mod. Removes the fog effect within Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, allowing for much cleaner visuals, improved long-distance rendering, and even potential performance boost, even if minor. You won't really realize the impacts of this mod until you actually try it. It is a very simple change to the config. However, it has profound effects as it makes so many settings crystal clear, and I much prefer that look than the dusty, foggy look that you come across everywhere. Completely transforms the shadows too. They become much darker. The good thing is it won't affect any water rendering, but for some you may find that it loses atmospherical elements, but for me it increases the clarity, detail of everything. So if you prefer cleaner visuals and extended draw distance, this mod is a must-have. While it removes atmospherical fog, it does not compromise water rendering, making it cleaner alternative to other fog removing tweaks. The well-worn KCD 1 Perk reimplementation mod brings back the well-worn perk from Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, allowing loot goblins to reduce once again. This perk is reintroduced into the warfare skill tree, ensuring its function as is intended based off the original. So this is going to restore the fan favorite perk under skills, under combat, into warfare. You'll find the well-worn perk. So we've unlocked well-worn. So keep in mind how well-worn perk worked was if your armor was slightly damaged, say below 90% condition, you made less noise while moving. This allows stealth-focused players to benefit from wearing armor without being as easily detected by enemies. It was a trade-off. You had to keep your armor worn down to stay quieter, but this also meant less protection. It was popular for loot goblins, stealth builds, and somewhat realistic mechanics because worn armor creaks less than pristine. Simple yet essential perk restoration. The players who miss features from KCD 1. Book Rework mod enhances book textures, their readability, recipes, codex. It improves fonts, page details, and overall design, making reading easier, colors more brighter, textures. You'll have higher resolution book textures, pages appear crisp and more detailed. You'll have sharper, more readable fonts, no more blurry or pixelated text, authentic parchment design. Books retain a medieval look while improving clarity, worn edges, and realistic ink. Adds depth and realism to the reading experience. Medieval immersion maintained. This is an excellent upgrade without breaking historical accuracy. If you love reading and immersion within KCD 2, this mod is a huge improvement. It makes books, recipes, codex feel more authentic and much more visually polished. You'll love the extra color, brightness, font, and text. And the good thing is it doesn't stray far from the medieval atmosphere at all. Excellent book rework mod. Let's keep moving. Increase light sources and shadow cast draw distance. Improves the draw distance for light sources and their shadows, reducing the pop-in and immersion breaking transition. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, even on max settings, the vanilla game suffers from abrupt lighting and shadow rendering, which this mod aims to address. It's a very simple tweak by changing some values within the user config. However, it drastically increases the draw distance of light sources and shadows. It will reduce the light shadow pop-in, making environments feel more natural, keeping you connected to the environment for longer. It does enhance the realism effect as well, with no more shadows appearing out of nowhere. You can customize the value as well. The higher you set it, the more demanding and performance hitting it will be. Depending on your PC and the value you set, there is a potential FPS drop, flickering issues, particularly at very high values. Best performance is a value of 60 to 100. 250 and above may cause flickering and performance dips on lower end machines. But for a simple little change, this completely transforms a lot of the nighttime and indoor lighting. Cool mod that improves lighting within Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. A very quick look at a mod called Dairy Cows of Bohemia. Extremely simple texture mod that changes regular brown cows into dairy cows. Overall, it's an interesting mod. I almost think that the cows look better brown, but this could be something that interests you. I wanted to quickly highlight this mod. Enable dev mode and use consoles for non-Steam. I just wanted to highlight this mod as it's been the only way I've been able to actually get dev mode working. It's called enable dev mode and use console, non-Steam. However, I'm using this for Steam, but running this mod, which comes as a batch file to start up the game, is the only way I've been able to get console commands working. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. If you are having trouble when you've tried all the other methods, this could be the fix. All you have to do is just drop it into where your exe is for Kingdom Come Deliverance II. You run that instead of the normal shortcut. So it does require a bit more of a manual step to it, but I'm pretty sure you can get Steam to run it anyway. And if you're not on Steam, this is going to be the way to get dev mode working. Starting off with a rather amusing mod called the M82 Barrett replacement for guns. And this meme mod is just going to replace all the guns for NPCs, Henry, all guns in the game with a reskin of the M82 Barrett. Then you gotta just laugh at this. Not many people will probably be interested in this, but this is just something I wanted to show you as pretty funny. And just to give you an idea, if you were interested, this is sort of what it looks like, the fire and animations. But overall, it's just hilarious to see something like this within Kingdom Come Deliverance II. Good laugh. The weapon itself looks quite reasonable in terms of its skin and texture detail. Very basic, but still pulls it off quite nicely. And overall, a good little fun mod. This is a super little nifty mod, at least in my mind, and it's called Keep Crossbow Cocked. It's a quality life improvement that allows players to keep their crossbow cocked even after storing the weapon away, eliminating the need to manually recock the weapon before every time you use it. So as an example, normally you load it up, you put it away, you open it up, you got to recock it again. This mod is simply keeping it cocked, allowing you to switch over to another weapon, then switch back to your crossbow, and if you'd already previously cocked it, you'll pull it out already cocked, negating the animation of having to recock the crossbow so many times. And if I keep saying that words, things are going to get really weird. But a super useful and excellent quality of life mod in my mind. I think it also adds a bit of realism to it, as you never see the animation of actually shooting to undo the load. So keeping it cocked makes a lot of sense. Hopefully I don't have to review a mod again where we have to say that word so many bloody times. Excellent little mod. It removes an unnecessary inconvenience without making the game easier or unfair in my mind. Highly compatible, immersive, and useful. More random encounters. So if you've been looking just to increase the difficulty or find more encounters, you're finding it too easy, here we have the more random encounters. This is a build on from a previous mod we covered, and this mod will significantly increase the frequency of random events while traveling, both on foot and during fast travel. This will include hostile encounters, bandits, ambushes, etc., as well as neutral and friendly events, merchants, corpses, travelers, caravans, and camps. Instead of simply reducing cooldowns between encounters, this mod completely removes them, ensuring that every valid event location has the highest possible chance of triggering an encounter. So basically, if you're fast traveling, you're going to be running into events. Whether it's the side camps, getting jumped by vagabonds, you name it, it does make fast traveling a very different experience. It's a higher encounter frequency. No more long stretches of empty roads. You'll find tons more combat, tons of more events, and this will mimic the same kind of degree as when you're traveling, making the world feel much more rich and alive. But a must-have mod. It makes traveling more dynamic, dangerous, and engaging, making every trip feel more meaningful, and you'll probably potentially opt in not to fast travel so much as the world becomes more alive. However, some players might find that this has too many encounters, and the mod developer is actively working on a skip feature for fast travel, ensuring both hardcore and casual players can enjoy the mod. Zizka's armor color variation. This mod introduces multiple color variations for Zizka's armor, an outfit not originally designed for Henry. However, the mod provides additional customization options without altering gameplay balance, expands the color choices from the dull gray to include red, blue, green, yellow, purple, black, and an improved original version. It's quite a fancy, awesome looking collection of recolored gear, and the good thing is you can have all of these options available with the one mod. The mod creator gives you a couple of different options. You can obtain them from going to the armor smith in Gutenberg. Keep in mind, if you have any other mod installed that modifies this same merchant or all merchants, something like rich merchants, it will conflict with this mod. The other alternative from purchasing them yourselves is just using the console command to spawn them all in, which all the commands are included in the mod description, making this an easy, glorious new way to customize Henry, coming in all the various colors you would want. And seeing how this couldn't be worn by Henry, now that you can get it on Henry, it looks freaking unreal. Nice mod. Let's keep moving. The easy to see bird's nest is an ultra simple mod, simply changing the skin of the bird nest, having two different options, one a bright yellow to really make it stand out, or you can go for the more realistic approach, which is what I got, which changed the bird nest into a much more noticeable reskin. However, it doesn't look completely out of whack. It looks quite natural within the environment, making a more hay appearance. This will just make it easier to spot these while wandering around and getting laid for all the coin that you have on you. The Horse Overhaul mod provides a complete rework of buyable horses within Kingdom Come Deliverance II, addressing visual, diversity, stat balance, and pricing. It aims to make horses a meaningful investment while diversifying valuable high-tier choices beyond just the standard herring, pissac, and pebbles. Key features are the visual diversity. Horses now have unique coats, manes, and even have different body shapes for added realism. Balanced tier horses, instead of only 3 viable options, named horses now feel unique and competitive. More expensive horses, prices have been increased significantly to reflect their historical value of up to 30k groschen, with an optional economy light version of this mod for a much lower pricing. There's more realistic spurring, reduces the frequency of force kicks, making galloping feel less mechanical. It does not force identical stats. Some horses still have distinct strength and weaknesses to maintain realism. An interesting spin on reworking horses, great for players who want a richer horse system with more realistic economy and customization. It's cool to see a variety of different horses within the game, fixes the lack of high tier variety, and adds personality to the named horses. Cool little mod, let's keep moving. Here we are revisiting a mod that has sort of combined a bunch of mods together, and that is the Enhanced Particle and Blood mod, which are always some of my favorites. The more gold, the better, and this one significantly enhances the visual experiences by increasing blood persistence, particle effect, and wherever there's particles, this mod aims to make them stand out, be a bit more impactful within the game. So it merges 2 mods we've covered previously, bloods and particles, to ensure a better, cohesive, and consistent updates. So the key features for this mod is that bloodstains last up to 50 minutes on surfaces, grounds, walls, and objects. More blood splattered and drips from wounds. This part I really like. The blood just oozes and spatters out, lasts a lot longer. I think it looks freaking awesome. It does make combat feel more brutal and realistic. Increase the blood drop size and extended flight duration too before landing. NPCs now visually bleed from wounds, making injuries more noticeable. Then when it comes to the particle and environment improvements, we have wood chips, broken object fragments, and leaves linger longer, making the world feel more interactive. You have the improved smoke effects from guns, quenching, and torches. Sparks and debris from combat persist longer. Arrow shields, weapons, and broken items remain on the ground much longer as well, creating a more battle aftermath realism. This mod does a lot of little changes, but the overall effect is pretty profound. Pretty much a must-have mod in my mind, and it's great for immersion, improves combat, world interaction, and realism. The extra particles from smoke, chimneys, and within all the different environments really makes this mod worthwhile. Another nice little quality of life change, basically a reskin, and it's called Equippable Lamp, giving you 2 options now to change up the typical holding of the torch, allowing Henry to equip 2 different lamps, an old lantern and a fancy lantern, both operating and functioning just the same as a torch. And it is kind of funny that you will see NPCs holding lamps all the time, but there's no animation for it for Henry. So the animation is still using the torch animation, but it still works quite well. But a nice reskin change to add a lamp into Kingdom Come Deliverance II. Corpses remain longer. This mod extends the time and distance that corpses stay within the world before despawning. This ensures a more immersive and realistic battlefield, allowing players to loot at their own pace or revisit fallen enemies. The mod comes with quite a few different options. So the key features of this mod, the vanilla settings of the game, you'll have a discovered corpse, will despawn after 5 minutes. So basically if you've taken someone out, their body will hang around for about 5 minutes. An undiscovered corpse, one that you sort of walk onto, will last 25 minutes before despawning. And the vanilla settings, all corpses despawn within 30 meters. The corpse remain longer mod offers now 6 to 7 different options, the lowest one being 15 minutes for discovered corpses, 30 minutes for undiscovered corpses, and 150 meters before corpses despawn. And then this goes all the way up to 7 days. Discovered corpses will remain within the game. That will go for undiscovered corpses as well. And then the despawn is 150 to 300 meters, but corpses persist for an entire in-game week, which is pretty cool. Thought this was an interesting mod because it adds a lot of realism. The bodies will hang around. You can come back and loot them, which is a more interesting gameplay mechanic, giving you plenty of time to make assessment or to be able to get all your loot from point A to point B. Lots of customization for this mod. Interesting one, the Henry's Guild Sword mod. This allows Henry to forge his own guild Longsword, making use of his blacksmith skills to craft a weapon of variety qualities. Players can choose 3 different
mod versions that will change the stats of Henry's Guild Sword, catering to different playstyles and balance preferences. The 3 different versions of this mod for the sword: upgraded version, comparable to Radzig's Reforged Sword, making it one of the best longswords in the game. I think it's even better. The standard version, which is identical to the default guild longsword stats. The weaker version, comparable to a common longsword, for those wanting a more balanced experience. So there's a good crafting integration. The sword is not just given to you. However, you can use commands to spawn it in. Without those though, you can forge it by acquiring the recipe sketch. The recipe should be dropped into your inventory after installing this mod. If it's not, use console commands to get it. But that way you can forge your own version of a variety of different qualities using the recipe sketch. However, you can also use console commands to spawn the sword, the recipe sketch, and the recipe perk. But the upgraded version is great for players who want a stronger longsword without breaking immersion. Feels like a reward for Henry's blacksmithing mastery. But this is a fantastic lore-friendly addition for players who want Henry to forge his own signature weapon. But awesome to see a new sword being able to be forged specifically for Henry. Let's start off with a pretty brilliant mod called Rain Cleans. This is an immersion enhancing mod that allows rain to gradually wash away blood and dirt from the player, NPCs, dogs, and wolves. It's a small but realistic addition that improves the natural world simulation within Kingdom Come Deliverance II. The gradual cleaning mechanic, rain will slowly remove the blood and dirt over time. Now, it takes quite a bit of time, but it will apply to multiple entities, as mentioned, players, NPCs, dogs, and wolves. It will only activate if the rain intensity is above 0.2. I'm not 100% sure what technical weather condition 0.2 represents, but it should just be most of the environments where it's raining. So the cleaning will happen gradually, 10% every 20 seconds, ensuring no performance loss. Obviously, this won't work with indoors. The effect only applies if the character is outside, but small covers like blacksmith sheds don't count as interiors, so you'll still have the same effect. But this is a fantastic mod, adding a very realistic mechanic of rain and environmental conditions having impact on our clothing, armor, and what we're wearing, not just ourselves, NPCs and dogs in the world around us. Pretty epic mod. Really like this idea. Let's keep moving. Nice to see these kind of mods coming around. Here we have True Wilderness, more wild animals. This mod is designed to significantly increase the number of wild animals within the game. The mod aims to enhance immersion by making the wilderness feel much more alive by offering different varieties that multiply the number of animals from 2 times to 10 times. I have the 10 times version on right now, but it significantly increases the number of deer, sheep, even wolves. So be careful with the wolves. If it's too much, you can install another mod called Harmless Dogs, which includes wolves, which will make them not bother with you. But the mod offers customizable density as well. So you can offset the difficulty by only using it 2 times. 3 times. However, having the 10 times is pretty unreal, but there will be a little bit of a performance hit, so that won't be a choice for everyone, but you'll have a much better hunting experience as there'll be so many more animals around. I reckon it just looks so much better. It makes the world way more immersive and realistic, having tons of sheep, tons of deer around. But this is a great mod, especially if you enjoy hunting or if you just want a more livelier world. However, performance considerations and wolf spawn rates should be taken into account. But this is a friggin' wild, awesome mod in my mind. Let's keep moving. Another very remarkable mod. This one's a bit older, but it's called the FPS Boost Enable Async Compute Conflict Free. This is an actual mod that will increase your performance on PC. This mod simply enables async compute. Async compute basically lets the render pipeline run tasks asynchronously rather than synchronously. This can help the GPU finish rendering frames in shorter times, thus improving your frame rate. You're looking at anywhere from a 6 to 7 better performance or increased frame rate. It's a small but noticeable FPS boost, particularly for high-end GPUs. Your RTX 3000s and above works without affecting other mods or requiring manually tweaking. Just install via Vortex or extract into your mods folder. But you should see a rough 3.5% increase with no nonsense. However, do note the lower end PC users may see better results still by disabling other graphical features rather than relying on async compute, but an excellent choice to improve and get extra performance just because you can without any hindrance or issues. Brilliant performance mod, simple and effective. Let's keep moving. I've been wanting to show this mod for ages, finally got around and it's working. This is called the KCD Nude mod. This won't be for everyone, but man, this is one of those games where this is a pretty potent and sickly but gloriously good mod. It has 4K texture overhaul that enhances the female body textures of all NPCs, removing underwear and fixing texture inconsistencies within the base game. The mod is designed to improve
the realism and detail in certain situations, replacing the low resolution vanilla textures with a higher detailed foreskin texture pack. The key features are the 4K texture resolution. This will improve the quality of the NPC skin, removes the lower quality 2K textures. The underwear removal option will make all females NPCs fully nude or remove only underwear. So there's a couple of different options. I just got the basic one that only removes some clothes of some NPCs, particularly the ones around bathhouse. And there's plans for an upcoming NPC overhaul. But if you're looking for incredible skin textures on your females or for males, this is a high quality 4K texture mod just to do that. I can't show you it in detail, but I'll leave it to your imagination. But it is pretty much the best adult mod we have. Definitely worth a look if this is something to your liking. Another mod that's a bit older, the Easy Smithing mod. This one's a bit older, but it's a impeccable quality of life mod. For those short on time, the mod streamlines the blacksmithing process by reducing the number of hammer strikes required, removing failures and other inconveniences. Basically, it's just you hit the sword a couple times, depending on which mod version you have. I have the 10 times, so I literally have to strike it like 4 times. Even the most difficult swords, and bing bada boom, you'll have a sword in your hand. It caters to players who find the smithing tedious or frustrating while maintaining some level of engagement. I think this is the best approach. It's not completely removing it, but saving a ton of time. The easy smithing comes in a 2 times, a mild reduction, making smithing slightly more convenient, all the way up to a 10 times, fewer hammer strikes, but may cause soft lock in the tutorials. So keep that in mind. You might not want to put this on when you start up the game and just getting into smithing. But this has been an extremely popular mod, removing tedious hammering, multiple versions, saves times, well received. Definitely recommend giving this a crack. Glorious quality of life mod. I've been keeping my eyes on these, so checkers, don't worry, haven't forgotten your mods. And the first entry is going to be checkers HD clothing. This is a visual overhaul mod that enhances over 400 clothing textures. It replaces the blurry, low resolution vanilla outfits with highly detailed 2K and 4K textures, making the NPC attire look way more realistic, sharp, and immersive. In most cases, brighter, more vibrant. Textures are enhanced, so every piece of clothing is reworked for better detail. And since you have a 2K and 4K options, choose between a high performance 2K or an ultra quality at 4K textures, noting that that's more for higher ends. This will have performance hits, especially if you have heaps of 4K textures on. However, the high-end machines should be able to handle this with good RAM. And unlike AI upscales, these textures were manually improved for better realism. But the improved detail will happen for all players. Even at 1080p, there'll be small, noticeable, sharper fabric textures. It is noted that there is minimal performance impact with the 2K version. So this is going to be pretty much the good balance between quality and performance. These mods have been received very positively, and it's awesome to see enhanced textures so early on compared to KCD 1. This is a very promising start, but all of Checkers upscale mods, and there's many more to come, are major visual upgrades, minimal conflicts, well optimized, and particularly the 2K options. Bloody brilliant to see. Let's keep moving. Got another weapon. The Soulshard Sword is an overpowered legendary weapon designed to pretty much be the most powerful weapon within the game. This mod is aimed at the endgame player who wants dominate combat with minimal effort. The sword is automatically added to the player's inventory upon opening it, meaning there is no need to craft or find it. The sword is unbreakable, extremely overpowered stats. You have stab and slash damage at 200, blunt damage at 50, durability and defense at 300. This will take out enemies extremely quickly, 1 to 2 shots for most. However, this is a bit of a fun for endgame, will make things very easy, so not for those looking for a more difficult challenge, but a cool option if you're seeking the most powerful weapon you've ever come across. Arrows and bolts retextured. This is another visual enhancement that recolors and improves the textures of arrows and bolts. The mod also adds new textures for hunting arrows, fixing the vanilla issue where multiple types of arrows share the same texture. It provides cleaner and more distinct textures for different types of arrows. The new hunting arrow textures, previously crude, regular, and the 2 hunting arrows shared one texture. Now hunting arrows have their own unique look, subtle but effective recoloring. It enhances the realism of the fletching and shaft without overhauling the entire model. Very minimal performance impact since only textures are changed. There's no FPS drop, or there shouldn't be. Now for the time being, there's only one model for all bolts, unfortunately. All crossbow bolts still use the same model due to the game's engine limitation. It's a pure visual change, but it's a much more subtle, realistic retexturing. People might prefer this much more than the easy to see arrow mod, as it uses an excellent mix of realistic sort of feathering. Brilliantly executed, this might tickle your fancy. The Immersive Faction Properties mod appears to be a well thought out addition for historical accuracy and depth in faction-based settlements.
It introduces more diverse faction controlling settlements, aligns the ownership and protection of settlements based on the real historical influences in 1403 Bohemia, which centerpieces this mod on changing the soldiers' equipment and presence within various locations. Notably alters the Kuttenberg guards, keeping them mostly within the city limits rather than widespread deployments. So some of the main changes on this, many of the dominions and guards, NPCs that we would see around the various towns like Samine, Begone, Pezik, Ruthard, Bavik, Prague, and a few other locations. There'll be diverse enemy/ally encounters. Factions influence the power and dynamics across the map. Certain areas may now have stronger or weaker defenses, influencing combat and sneaking approaches, making factions feel more purposeful rather than randomly placed, with the main focus around all the different soldiers having different weapons and armor, and increasing the faction's domain dominion to align historically. Makes for an excellent mod and potentially some crazy scenarios and different engagements. Aggressive Combat AI. This mod removes the artificial attack delay for NPCs within KCD 2, making them more aggressive and responsive within combat. The goal here is to create a more dynamic and intense combat experience that rewards quick reaction and tactical play. So the AI will be faster, more reactive. Enemy AI no longer has that artificial delay, that sort of pause before they engage, meaning they attack more frequently and aggressively, transitioning between different NPCs much faster, so you can get attacked from multiple angles with no real signal, and then sometimes no recourse. Combat will feel more realistic, so no more enemies standing around waiting for their turn, making fights much more fluid and intense, as you will have to shift your focus using your mouse wheel to have a bit more of a free look to give you a better guide on what's going on around you. It certainly increased the challenge of combat. Players can no longer exploit the long pauses between enemy attacks to heal or recover, and works with other PTF mods, less specifically modifying the combat AI. This mod should be compatible with most others, but this is a great mod to significantly improve realism and challenge within KCD combat system. But it's not going to be for everyone. If you want fights to be fast, brutal, and engaging, it's a must-have. However, if you struggle with the blocking and countering, it might make the game too difficult, but great for those seeking a bit more of a hardcore challenge. Dragonborn Helmet. This mod introduces 2 to 3 unique helmets into KCD 2, the Italian Barboot, a classic open-faced helmet, and then the Dragonborn Helmet, an engraved and visually enhanced version of the Barboot. Both helmets feature high-quality textures and meshes, making them stand out visually from the vanilla armor selection, particularly with the design and detail engraving and a realistic medieval aesthetic. You'll have a couple of different options of either using a code to acquire them instantly or purchase them within the game. You purchase these items from the major merchants in Kuttenberg, and they are visually stunning and very appealing, coming in kind of a couple of different color sets to match a variety of different armors. So if you enjoy the detailed medieval armor, this mod is a must. The merchant integration keeps it immersive, and the texture meshing are top tier. This goes along superbly with the next few mods. Dragonborn Longsword, a uniquely crafted weapon featuring luxurious engraving and elite aesthetic. It's a part of the Dragonborn collection, which we are covering, and together that includes the helmet, cuirass, long and short sword. The new high-quality longsword, engraved with intricate details, is visually distinct from the vanilla weapons. There are 2 different versions available. A realistic, meaning it's balanced for normal gameplay. Then you have an overpowered version, a cheap tier version for players who want extra power. The sword is integrated into the merchant system, available for purchase in-game rather than spawning automatically. However, you do have the option to console command them as well, gaining them instantly. If you want one of the most aesthetic pleasing long swords, especially the graving and the handle are exceptional, this mod is worth downloading, giving you good options being realistic or overpowered. Merchant integration keeps it immersive. The overall top tier looking weapons. If the long sword wasn't your cup of tea, the Dragonborn short sword might just be the fix. The Dragon short sword follows the same suit, having a very nice intricate engraving, making it stand out from the vanilla weapons. Designed to match the other items that we've been covering. Comes in 2 versions, a realistic and overpowered, but it is a beautifully designed weapon, high quality engravings, making it one of the best looking short swords that I've seen, but 2 excellent choices for some of the most visually striking swords you can get right now. This is a pretty epic quality of life mod for those that want to get around everywhere and quickly. This mod is called Fast Travel. This mod enables fast travel to all discovered points of interest, POIs, markers on the map, significantly improving mobility and convenience. The vanilla game only allows you to fast travel between major cities and towns, but this mod expands it to include hunting spots, stores, camps, and other locations. There are some restrictions. I found that I couldn't quick travel to quite a few locations that are indoors and some locations that are otherwise indoors. So it was a bit of hit and miss. It's still early days. However, it does remove the fast travel limitations. You can now pretty much travel to any discovered POI. A lot of these include blacksmiths, taverns, and camps. No more long horseback rides just to reach a point of interest. Unlike cheats or teleport mods, you still need to discover the location first before traveling. But the fast travel mod significantly improves convenience without breaking immersion. It's perfect for players who want to speed up travel but still explore naturally, giving you a good option of both, as you will have to discover these locations, but then have the option to quick travel. However, do note there are some map mod conflicts, like map zoom or map marker Resize may present some issues with compatibility. Otherwise, this is a fantastic quality of life mod, allowing you to fast travel nearly anywhere. No helmet vision. This mod removes the helmet vision restrictions in KCD 2, allowing players to see clearly without the visor effect when wearing a helmet. Additionally, it offers translucent visor options for players who still want some immersion without full obstruction. So it removes the darkened helmet overlay. Normally helmets with visors reduce visibility, but this mod has the option to eliminate that effect entirely. It also comes with excellent optional translucent helmet visions from a 50, 65, 75, 85%. Does not modify any armor stats or models, simply just changing the vision. But this mod is perfect for players who prioritize gameplay clarity over strict realism. The translucent visor options add flexibility, and it's a simple but highly effective quality of life improvement. Certainly was a staple in KCD 1 for many. This is going to be the same case. Enhanced Global Illumination mod. This mod enhances the global illumination within KCD 2, making lighting more natural by brightening dark areas, increasing light bounces, and minimizing the light leaks. It's a config-based mod change, and it tweaks the CryEngine's voxel-based GI, meaning Global Illumination, and the SBO TI, offering two versions, a balanced, so a more natural indoor and shadow lighting without excessive brightness. Then we have the stronger version, which I have on now, stronger light bounces and indirect lighting, more suited and better for HDR displays. The good thing about the strong version is that it comes with key bindings, so you can turn it off and on and reload it if you need to. So the mod changes the brighter shadows and interiors, no more overly dark indoor areas or pitch black shadows, increases the light bounce, light reflect more naturally, absorbing colors from nearby objects, reduces the unnatural light bleeding through walls and objects. Performance considerations though, some settings affect FPS, but can be tweaked. But overall, depending on what you have, and particularly with the light bounces, can reduce FPS. I think this is a terrific must-have mod, as the lighting system is a bit overbearing, particularly this super dark shadows inside. This could be great to go with the mod that turns off inside fog, which then in turn makes the shadows very, very dark. This is one of the best visual mods in terms of lighting that I've seen so far, especially for those like me who dislike the dark shadows. Highly recommend this for HDR users, but will require some tweaking for optimal results. Not highly suggestible for players with lower end GPUs, as you will receive possible FPS drops. Another terrific quality of life mod is the Hide HUD mod. It's a bit of a game changer for players who crave immersion. It dynamically hides and reveals different HUD elements, stats, pouches, buffs, compass, and hints based on the combat status and player's interaction. If you ever found the on-screen clutter distracting or wished for a HUD when you need it, but gone when you don't approach, this mod delivers that exactly. This is a bit of a beta version, but this mod has been polished off quite nicely in its core features, which include dynamic HUD visibility, automatically hides unnecessary UI elements when not in combat or injured. Buffs now appear only when they update and fade out dynamically. There is also a manual HUD toggle. Configurable keybinds allow for temporary HUD display. Pouch auto display. Pouches appear automatically when used and fade away in a short while. Combat aware UI. Health, stamina, and other stats show up in combat, otherwise will remain hidden. Auto start on save load. No need to manually activate it every time. All done in the background. It also does include the unlimited save to functionality, eliminating the need for that mod as well. It has basically no noticeable impacts to performance. It's stable, some minor UI glitches. However, the auto hide is an essential mod for players who prefer a minimalist UI. It successfully balances accessibility and immersion, keeping the on-screen clear without sacrificing usability. Most definitely recommended for hardcore players, immersion-focused players, and it's just a bit of a dream to use this so you can soak up the glorious atmosphere of the game. Another simple quality of life mod that is called I Want to Hold W. Horse tutorial pop-up Begone. For some reason, KCD 2 insists on constantly reminding you that you do not need to hold W while galloping on a horse. The mod ensures that you don't need to hold W and you do not need to hold shift. Messages disappear automatically after 6 seconds and never return. So they'll appear once and then never again. It's a simple but effective quality of life improvement, especially for players who don't want to constantly be nagged by the game's tutorial system and who just want to press whichever freaking button they want. But I don't know, that's just me. It's hard to stop so many habits like that. So if you are tired of being told how to ride a bloody horse and what buttons to press, this mod is a must-have. While it's a minor change, the reduction in tutorial spam is significant. It improves the overall experience for players who are very much stuck in their ways. No sleep restriction, PTF. The sleep system imposes restrictions on how long you can sleep and prevents oversleeping based on your character's fatigue. While this adds realism, it can sometimes be frustrating, especially when you just want to rest for as long as you want without unnecessary restrictions. The no sleep restriction PDF mod removes these limits, allowing a player to sleep for any amount of time, provided they have enough food. This makes the system more player-friendly and works well for those who prefer a more casual or customizable experience. So it simply removes the sleep duration limit, no more oversleep restriction, still requires food, which is a good aspect to this mod, pairs well with other survival mods, and it's very lightweight. Being a PTF, it should integrate quite well with other mods. A simple yet effective mod that removes one of the more arbitrary restrictions within KCD 2. One of the most immersive aspects of KCD 2 is its incredible detailed world. While landscaped and character models look fantastic, some of the furniture textures remain low resolution or blurry, especially in taverns, noble halls, and common homes. The enhanced common furniture mod fixes this issue by upgrading the textures of various furniture and decorative objects, ensuring that even the smallest detail looks more realistic and period authentic. So the mod includes high quality furniture textures, improves benches, buckets, cabinets, chairs, chests, shelves, tables, sacks, tubs, cupboards, and more. It reworks the models and materials, so it enhances the wood grain, metal fittings, some of the cloth material, and many of the other materials that are related to the object we just mentioned. The mod comes in 2 versions. A balanced version, which is recommended for low to mid-range machines, offers a mix of great visual to performance ratio. The 4K version, ultra high resolution for high-end GPUs, does not require other texture mods, but works great alongside them. Perfect for players who want a more visually detailed world, and the mod does exactly what it promises. It upgrades the furniture and common objects to match the high quality visuals of the rest of the game. While it may not be game changing in terms of mechanics, it adds a subtle yet significant level of detail that makes interiors feel more immersive and realistic, particularly when paired with the rest of Checker's enhancing mods, which we'll slowly be covering over time. Another excellent KRT female body mesh for KCD 2. This mod's designed to provide a more detailed and anatomically refined female body model while ensuring compatibility with the vanilla clothing. This mod enhances the female characteristics and body meshes, reshaping the base female model for a more refined appearance, eliminating issues like missing body parts when wearing certain clothing, providing compatibility with other texture mods while keeping the overall appearance close to the vanilla. Unlike the full nudity mod, this one prioritizes improved mesh and realistic proportions while remaining lore-friendly. This mod delivers a much-needed improvement to the female body meshes in KCD 2. However, I can't show you the good bits, as you know, definitely one you have to check out yourself. It's not full nudity mod, but rather a refined mesh replacement that fixes the existing issues and adds more anatomical realism. Great for players who want better body meshes without extreme changes, those using clothing retextures and looking to reduce clipping issues. The dark fishbone pattern hood is an excellent addition. The mod introduces 68 new hood variants with the dark fishbone texture, available for all major hood types, including the servant hood, Burger's hood, Noble's hood, and unique hoods like Radzig's and Isfan's. The goal here is to elevate the medieval fashion game while ensuring the hoods blend seamlessly into the game's existing aesthetics. This is perfect for players who want to match their armor with a refined dark hood design, especially those wearing the black fitted coat or other dark armor sets. So there are 68 new hoods with this mod. It's pretty extreme, pretty much comes in all the different hoods that are within the game, and it comes with 2 different texture options, a high resolution or the more default. Great for rogue builds, and you get a lot of the unique NPC hoods included, and they look fantastic. You can buy all the hoods from the tailor in Gutenberg, and there's also the cheat console option to deploy them instantly into your inventory. But this adds so many new options. Fantastic addition for players who care about aesthetics and want a more stylish look. The auto walk, auto hotkey script for KCD 2. Are you tired of holding down W for long walks in Kingdom Come? The auto walk auto hotkey script solves this by allowing double tap W to activate auto walk, while the ability to cancel is by pressing W or S again. This is a lightweight and simple mod that benefits players who travel long distances on foot or horseback, have hand strain issues, or want a more comfortable experience. It's just a great quality of life mod overall. Excellent if you need to walk across the map and don't want to sit there the whole time holding the button. The mod will require auto hotkey version 2, so keep that in mind. But this has some excellent features with the double tap W to enable auto walk, so no more key holding anymore. Multiple stop methods, W, S, and technically escape as well. Strafe while walking as well. A and D keys now allow movement adjustment without stopping auto walk, has much better compatibility. Inventory interactions no longer conflict with auto walk. The script includes adjustable sensitivity for double tapping W as well. But overall, this is just an excellent quality of life, particularly on those long walks. Now you can auto walk everywhere. Very handy mod. Let's keep moving. If you've ever had Mutt, your loyal dog companion, get in your way during stealth or combat, or just in general movement, this is a must-have mod. The Doggo Collision Reduction mod significantly reduces Mutt's collision size, ensuring he doesn't become a frustrating obstacle when you're sneaking, crouching, or engaging in battle. The mod offers 4 different versions, letting players choose the best balance between realism and reduced interference. This will make sneaking playstyles much smoother, fix the issue in combat when you're in tight spaces and you can kind of get shoved around or moved out of position by Mutt. And with the 4 different versions, there'll be one instance that will work to your playstyle, but it does aim to eliminate, for some people, what might be the biggest annoyance with Mutt, particularly in stealth and combat scenarios. Really nice quality of life mod. Kingdom Come Deliverance features some beautiful but sometimes intrusive rain systems with heavy raindrop effects that can obscure the player's view. The Rain Fix mod provides 3 customizable options to improve the rain's visuals while retaining realistic surface and environmental rain effects. Whether you want a high-resolution rain textures, which look amazing, particularly when the light hits it at certain angles, or a more subtle drizzle, or to remove the falling raindrops entirely, this mod gives you control over how rain appears within the game. So the mod comes with the high resolution option, sharper, more detailed raindrops for more immersive effect. You'll have the low opacity rain option, reduces the raindrop intensity while keeping the environment effects intact. No raindrop option removes raindrops from the player's vision while keeping puddles, wetness, and surface streaking effects. Do not remove wetness, puddles, or post-rain ambience. The mod should have little to no FPS loss. However, the high resolution may be hard to see in some lighting conditions, and then in other times it looks absolutely amazing. The Rain Fix mod is one of the best visual improvements we've seen for the rain so far, offering a very wide range of flexibility in how the rain is displayed while preserving the environmental effects. The low opacity version is the best choice for immersion, while the no raindrop version is ideal for players who want a cleaner vision without losing wetness effects. The Gondor chestplate introduces a beautifully detailed armor piece inspired by the Kingdom of Gondor from the Lord of the Rings. Hell yeah. Designed after the Melanese cuirass, the custom chestplate is engraved with the seal of Gondor, offering a true fantasy meets medieval aesthetics in KCD 2. The mod comes in multiple color variations and can be manually spawned using the in-game cheat command. This is fantastic for all the Lord of the Rings fans, including myself. Brings a touch of Middle-earth into Bohemia. Excellent custom engraved armor piece. It's high quality, allowing different options as well. Overall, a fantastic Lord of the Rings themed armor piece. Player's Burgal is a simple character swap mod that replaces Henry's face with that of Burgal. One of the more interesting faces within the game, in my opinion. It's an extremely detailed and aged face. This mod only modifies the appearance _ unique XML file, making it lightweight and quick to install for those who want a fresh look for Henry. However, there are some camera glitches when looking down at the boots, but this is early days for the mod and those should be sort of fixed over time. Wanted to include this mod as it is a very interesting and unique face to have. There are many different face swaps out there, but this one stands out to me. Here is the Ultimate Canine Companion Compendium mod. This mod greatly expands upon the game's dog companion mechanics. It adds new dog breeds, wolves, and even boars and pigs as your potential companions. Would love to see deer. I think that'd be pretty cool. However, the mod extends and improves upon the original Canine Companion mod, which we covered before, and it expands on it to a huge extent, offering about 27 different options, multiple dog breeds, including war dogs, backyard dogs. You can also get different versions of wolves, boars, and pigs. There's a work in progress for the sound adjustments too, and other changes incoming, but it offers such a wide selection of various colors. So for boar, we have beige, black, red, and classic. For dogs, we have black, dark brown, ginger, white. Wolves also get quite a few different color options: black, brown, ash, beige, and also an alpha version. The Canine Companion Compendium is a fantastic expansion of animal companion system, adding a huge amount of variety and customization. The inclusion of wolves, boars, and pigs as companion is a unique twist. If the sounds and animations can be perfected, this is going to be the ultimate animal companion mod. However, with the addition of these options, it truly is the best mod we have for our four-legged companion. Now, for a more unusual and crazy mod that probably no one will like, but I just like to cover these things every now and then. The Dead Space dog mod is a horror rework of Mutt, your loyal canine companion. Inspired by Dead Space, this mod corrupts Mutt's model, transforming him into a truly disturbing, unnatural creature. This mod makes for a nightmare-fueled immersion horror experience in an otherwise medieval setting. It just basically turns the mod into this mutilated thing. For what reason anyone would want this, I do not know, but it's a creepy aspect to add. Maybe a good way to stitch up a mate while he's not at his computer. Wicked bunch of mods. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Cheers. We're going to start off this video with a couple ridiculous, nonsensical mods. Some of these are absolutely useless. Kicking us off, we have the Mutt Slider. It's an intentionally absurd mod. It grants Mutt the ability to slide across various surfaces, including but not limited to the ground, rooftops, and even into the sky. The result is a physics-defying, often unpredictable experience where Mutt may be anywhere at any time. Why would we want this mod? I have no idea. Let me know in the comments. Definitely a bit of a laugh, quick meme, quirky mod that injects absurdity into Kingdom Come Deliverance. Now, the ridiculous mods don't stop there with this next one, but a huge shout out to an old game that many of us loved and played so much. And the mod is called Majora's Moon. Many of you probably recognized it, but this is a very simple skin change onto the moon, changing it to the moon from Majora's Mask. However, it doesn't have the ticking.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Two nonsensical mods. Just to kick us off, far the most unusual mod and probably the most useless. I don't even understand this. It's called Sword Wagon. The mod makes it so when you get close to most wagons, they fade away and turn into a sword. The sword is either made of steel or wood, so you can pretend you have magic, maybe? Completely nonsensical. What the hell?